Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's Unpacking video. We are so thankful that you took time out of your week to sit down and watch. If you haven't already, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to leave us a like and a comment as well. With that, let's go ahead and get into this week's Unpacking video. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unpacking, and today we're sitting down with Pastor Darin and we're going over the Stampede message from this weekend. I was just talking to you in the kitchen a little bit ago and had the realization that a year ago is when we started doing the unpacking videos. When we were last year during Stampede, since we didn't do a live stream or a video or anything, we decided to do an unpacking video. So we've come full circle and we've started coming up on our year I guess anniversary of doing unpacking videos.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
You had a great idea and I'm proud of you for doing that.
Well, thanks. Thanks for helping me with it and doing it with me. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoy doing the videos with you. It's cool having Mom on here, having Josh and the other guest ministers and everything that we've had over the course of a year.
Johnny last year.
Yeah.
You had Trey last year.
Yep, had Trey. Sat down with Kayleen a couple of times. Josh. But I really enjoy doing these videos with you. I love the conversation that we get to have and getting to dive deeper into messages and getting to see the process that goes into it. I know the process that goes into it, but getting to show people the process, the things that maybe didn't get to be included in videos or in the services, now we get to include them in the videos. It's really cool, just kind of the things that we've developed over the course of a year. And I hope that it goes on for another year, or that it keeps being developed, things keep getting bigger and better. We were just talking about a studio, doing a little bit more of a professional setup and getting something going that would be almost a podcasty kind of look. So yeah, I think that'd be really cool and something that we're looking forward to, something that y'all can look forward to as well. Having an unpacking studio. So just a little bit coming up on a year, it's cool to look back and review certain things. Yeah. Now that it's warm outside, we can move back out to the porch. I was going to
say, it's hot outside right now.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to do that. And the wind's blowing pretty hard today too. So.
It is. Yeah. Whenever you're outside in the elements, you kind of have all this other stuff going on. Yeah. Flies were the big thing. Yeah.
Flies. And then like today with the wind, if anybody goes up the driveway, it blows right across. So you have to put a filter on the on the camera to see through the dust.
Yeah. Yeah, being inside is a lot nicer, I think.
I think so too.
With that, I mean, thank y'all for being part of the Unpacking family. Thank you for watching the videos. I know that it's
all 7 of you.
Yeah, I know that it's a smaller group that usually watches these videos, but man, we sure are thankful for each and every one of you that watch, that like the video, that comment, that have subscribed, who maybe have found N3C through the unpacking videos. We sure are appreciative of you, and we hope that you keep continuing to join us for the next year and for the next phases of the unpacking videos. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the unpacking videos.
Well, we're going to continue to evolve.
Yeah,
and hopefully we won't lose the content of what the purpose is for the videos, but the backgrounds and the more, maybe you can get special effects in there.
Yeah, things are going to continue to grow.
Green screen.
I'm going to have to learn how to do green screen first. But yeah, things are going to grow, things are going to change, things are going to evolve, but no matter what it grows or changes into, the heart is still going to be behind it to dive into the message a little bit deeper, to get into things a little bit more, find the things that maybe, one of my favorite questions to ask you is what got left on the cutting room floor. So that's going to be the heart still behind these messages, is digging in a little bit deeper, unpacking things and getting into the nitty gritty of the message, so to speak, so that we can learn more or dive into something deeper if we want to. So again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this and going on the journey with us for a year. I think things have definitely developed from what it was last year. At least I hope it did, and improved some. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool to see things come around a year later and it still be going. It's pretty cool. So
I agree.
So yeah, well, now we get to pick up where things started last year, and kind of in the same heart of why we started this. This weekend was Stampede, and we didn't have a live service, and that's why we started the unpacking videos last year.
We had a live service, but we didn't have live video.
Yeah, we had service and everything, but we didn't have video to go with it. We didn't put anything out on Facebook. Yeah. So this is the reason why we started the unpacking videos, and it just kept going. So this weekend we had our Greeley Stampede service once again. We had an amazing service. It's always cool to see that grow too. I mean, that's been something we've been doing for the last 4 years, and each no longer than that. Has it been 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Right around COVID, right?
It was before. I think we did it the year before, maybe the 2 years before.
Gotcha.
Because we was pretty free to move around.
Yeah.
And then that COVID year, I think they put a lot of restrictions on us.
Mm-hmm.
But we got it done. I mean, the end of June of 2020, we were just coming out of the very strict, where we couldn't have service at the church or whatever. They were going to, they had so many
guidelines and rules, restrictions. So,
anyways.
Yeah, and coming out of that, even, man, seeing what COVID did to a lot of churches during that year, 2 years that it was going on, we saw growth in that.
Well, it was really cool because we got to pay off our building during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, in a time when nobody was coming to church, there was still people actively giving, and we were able to, in 2020, pay off our church building.
Yeah.
Over $160,000.
Man.
Something like that we were able to take that and put it toward the note on the building, and we own our building free and clear.
Yeah.
Debt free.
It's amazing to see that happen. Like you said, whenever a time where churches are really struggling, or you saw a lot of churches closing their doors and saying, we don't know if we're going to reopen again. We don't know if we can. Yeah. God gave us the provision and the ability. I was in Texas during that time.
That's right. Yeah,
I wasn't here. I came back a year later from COVID. But I mean, down there, we'd just opened, they built a new church, and they had just opened the church building. And I think we had 1 or 2 services in there. And then COVID hit and we had to shut down because, let's see, we opened beginning of March, I believe. And then March
20th or something like that, they shut everybody down.
Everything shut down. So we got maybe 2 or 3 services in, and then the whole world stopped, it seemed like. Yeah. And y'all were doing the same thing up here, and things had to keep moving, things had to keep going, and Stampede service was a part of that. Even though restrictions were put on you, we kept going with it, and here we are 6 years later from doing it, 7 years later from the first time that we did it, and it's grown into a really cool thing. We started in the 4-H building, and not that the 4-H building is small by any means. It's a good sized building.
Well, the 2 years we did it there, first year I think we were full, but then the second year standing room only.
Yeah, and they said, we don't have anywhere else to put y'all except for the grandstands. And now,
well, that was our desire too. To move to the grandstands.
Yeah, and we've done it the last 3 or 4 years in the grandstands now, huh?
It's been
maybe
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, since 21 probably.
Yeah, we've done it in the
maybe
grandstands.
20. I don't remember.
And now the whole center section, if you know what the Greeley Stampede arena looks like. It's kind of that horseshoe shape. Virtually the entire center of that is being filled up with people, which is really, really cool to see that. And I mean, yes, it's scattered out, but I mean, still, we're filling up that center section pretty good.
God's good.
Yeah, he is. So now we've taken a trip down memory lane with both the Unpacking videos and the Greeley Stampede. But this weekend, your message, you ministered it out in California first, or something similar to it, right?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, I edited it on a lot, but yeah, something similar.
This weekend's message, it was a message titled "A Few Feet Away," correct?
Yeah.
I thought the concept for this message, I don't know if that's the right way to call it, a concept or an idea for this message. It was awesome because I think that so many people feel like they've been struggling or striving or trying to get something rolling, praying for something, you know, and you feel like every time that you pray for it, you're still so far away from it. But in all reality, you're just a few feet away. You may just be on the backside of your breakthrough. Just a few more days, a few more weeks, a few more months, however long it is, you're right there. It's always just a few feet away. And your message was awesome. So I want to quit babbling, and I want to let you have the floor and unpack your message from this weekend.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm really not that smart.
I think you are. I learned a lot from you.
Well, the concept of this message this weekend was I heard a message similar to it. And I thought, man, there's so many different directions you can go with that. And so your mom had said something to me a couple of weeks ago that was just something that fired off in me. I think we were driving to the gym and she said it. You know, I already had this message, the title of it and the direction I wanted to go. It's been probably a month or two ago. And anyways, I had that in me of the direction. And then she said something about the kingdom of God. And Jesus had said, I think, you know, over 3 or 4 times he said, the kingdom of God is at hand. And so people have heard that, and I've heard it all my life, you know, that Jesus said the kingdom of God is at hand, or the kingdom of heaven is at hand. What does that mean? You know, I've always wondered what that really meant. And so that really played into a lot to my message, especially towards the end of what I talked about on Sunday. But anyways, I mean, you know, your arm's length, always, your mom has always told me that your arms, you know, your arm span of your arms is how tall you are.
Yeah.
So pretty close, within a couple of inches or whatever. Yeah. I understand some people have shorter arms and things like that. But, you know, if that's the case, then your arm, maybe Jesus' arm stuck out like that. The kingdom is right there. Yeah. You may not be able to see it. You may not be able to touch it, but it's right there. And that's just a few feet away, you know. And so those kinds of things really played into my message. And you know, so many times people, when you become a Christian, your life is a life of faith. I mean, you enter into Christianity by faith. Yeah. And faith becomes a big part of everything that you do. Everything that the road that you're on is a faith road. And we know that faith, believing God for something, putting our faith out there, faith is believing God for something you can't see yet. You know, that's what Hebrews chapter 11 says. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So it's the evidence that you can't see those things yet. You can imagine them being there. You know what you want to do with that, but it takes faith It's a process of faith to get to it.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesus was saying. The kingdom,
it's at hand.
It's at hand.
Yeah.
The things you want are just beyond what you can see, but they're there.
Yeah.
If you believe, you can make that, and that's just a few feet.
Yeah.
And, some people said, well, I've really been believing God for this miracle, and it doesn't seem to happen. I keep believing. Just hang on, brother, just a few more feet. Just don't abandon what God promised you because you can't see it or because you can't touch it or you can't feel it. It's right there, and it's right beyond your idea or what you can see at hand. And it's just a few more feet. Don't give up on your promise. It's just a few more feet. So that was a lot of the thought that went into, of course, the process of doing that in a message is setting those things up.
Yeah.
Because the Bible, the message that I taught on was the Bible is full of people who abandon their faith because they didn't see it. They almost made it. They were not quite there, or they were. I always forget that third one when I don't have it in front of me. Not far. They're not far from it.
Yeah.
And we've all battled that. We've all, Christian or not Christian, you believe that you're going to see something or have something or do something, and you're just, you just get frustrated because you haven't seen it, so you want to quit. And God's saying, real faith is not quitting. Real faith is pushing through until you get to it.
Yeah.
Because if you just hang in there, you'll see it happen.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what the message was about. It's about three different groups of people: the almost, the not quite yet, and the not far from. And so that was what I was talking about this weekend.
Yeah. I can't remember who it is. I think Mom has talked about it before, if I'm remembering. But there was a pastor or something, a minister, that he kept praying for people to be raised from the dead.
Yeah.
And never saw it. And he continued to pray over and over again for people to be raised from the dead. And finally, one day it happened. Somebody was raised from the dead. I can't remember who it was that did that. I'm sure that there's probably multiple pastors that have done that.
Yeah, there's.
But imagine if the time and time again that he prayed for somebody to be raised from the dead, and finally he said, you know what, it's just never going to happen. Might as well just give up on this hope for a miracle, The person who did get raised from the dead wouldn't have ever been raised from the dead, And I think about how so many people are dealing with whatever life throws at you, whether it be financial hardships, whether it be medical issues, whether it be trouble in your marriage, trouble with a close relationship, family, whatever that looks like. And you're praying and you're believing God for a miracle in that area, whether that be financial freedom, a breakthrough in your marriage, a breakthrough in healing or addiction or whatever that might look like. And how many people are so close to it that they're almost there and they give up before they can get there, or they give up because they're discouraged. How many people have done that? How many people have fallen into that camp of...
I think we've all done it to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout life. And, there's so many opportunities to do that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I believe there's probably every one of us has done it to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I whenever I say that, I don't mean to pick on like those people who maybe have given up on a medical thing or something like that. I've for sure done that where I'm praying for something and I'm just like throw my hands up and say, you know what, it's not going to happen, and walk away, you know?
Well, you know, one of those groups of people, well, I didn't include him in this group, but I started off with this because Abraham was one. I mean, at 75 years old, God promised him a son.
Yeah.
And so the thing that he tried to do was to make it work out for himself, trying to make God's promise work out under Abraham's power. And so instead of doing what God promised him, that he would give a son to him and his wife Sarah, he told Sarah, and Sarah said, why don't you take my handmaid Hagar and sleep with her and have a son? She can conceive for you, and you can help God out. She didn't say those words, but that was basically the premise of what they did.
In the Darin translation, that's what it says.
Yeah. And so she gives Hagar to him. He sleeps with her, and she conceives a son, and they call him
Ishmael.
Ishmael. Yeah,
I got you.
Thank you. Who's the preacher here? Ishmael. And so God lets him know that Ishmael is not this is not the son of promise.
Yeah. Because
the son of promise will come through Sarah, who is 65 years old at that time, and she can't have kids. She never had a kid, never got pregnant, nothing, you know. And so for approximately 13 years, God did not say a word to Abraham until it was time to boot Ishmael and Hagar out of the house because they were giving Sarah a hard time.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole different story there with Ishmael and Hagar. And
we've gotten into that a little bit in one of the previous unpacking videos. I can't remember which one, but go watch them. You'll find it.
Go back all through all of them. You'll find it. You'll find that 5-minute segment somewhere.
Yeah.
But so at 100 years old, so 25 years later, God says, all right, that promise is still out there. So here's my point, is that if you spit the bit, if you pitch the slack, if you quit on what God promised you, and you think, okay, well, this ain't coming to pass, I'm gonna quit, and then you come back to God later and say, you know what, I really want to take you up on that promise. God will give it to you. God will forgive you when you repent, change your thinking, get back on track with him, then he will do that. And 9 months after Abraham come and repented, 9 months later, Sarah has Isaac. And she was 90 years old.
Wow.
He was 100 years old.
Good for him.
But the story that I started out with is this right there at that point, where Abraham had repented to God. And this is New Testament. This is not Old Testament stuff. The Apostle Paul wrote about it. It says that Abraham being fully persuaded, Abraham being fully convinced, that's Romans 4:21, he was fully convinced that what God had promised, God was able to perform.
Wow.
So even though he spit the bit at 75 and tried to help God out, and for 25 years, there was a silence from God. All of a sudden, now he's back.
Yeah.
You know, and within 9 months, God brought that because Abraham's whole line of thought changed. I'm just a few feet away. I'm just a few feet away.
Wow.
Just a few more months. Just to, 25. What is 9 months in the matter of 25 years? Yeah. It's a fraction, you know. And so, anyways, we have to, in order to be knowing that the kingdom is just a few feet away, we have to be fully convinced that it's there. Yeah. And that's what faith is. That story goes on and says, and it was accounted to Abraham by faith. It was accounted to him, his belief, because he is fully persuaded. Wow. To believe that what God promised, God was able to perform.
Wow. That's cool. I mean, there's a testimony right there in Abraham's story of, I like what you said, even though that even when you feel, or you have said, you know what, this is never going to happen, or I like the term that you said, spit the bit. Even whenever you give up on everything, you spit the bit. Mm-hmm. There's still opportunity there for you. Yeah. God still wants to deliver on the promise. He has the promise waiting. It's just a matter of, with it being at hand, there has to be a seizing of it as well.
Yeah.
It can't just stay out. It can't just stay at arm's length, open-handed. You have to actually reach out and grab it.
And God's not being mean to keep it away from you. God is saying, hey, I've given you this promise, and it's out there. You just gotta keep moving, keep going forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because it's right there. It's right there. It's just a few feet away.
Yeah. It's at hand. God makes good on his promises, and he wants to see us thrive. He doesn't want to see us struggle. He doesn't want to see us, in a bad spot, like George Clooney says, "No, brother, where art thou?" He doesn't like us whenever we're in a tight spot.
Yeah.
He wants to see us in good health. He wants to see us stable financially. He wants to see our marriages thrive. He wants to see our families be strong together. Mm-hmm. And he gives us all of those promises. He lists promises in the Bible that are for us. Yeah. And it's just a matter of time. If we're praying for those things, it's just a matter of time before they come to pass. Mm-hmm. And they're just a few more feet,
Yeah.
On Sunday, you had told a story about the prospector that found that vein of gold, and then mined all the gold that he could from that vein that he thought was there, and sold all his equipment. And another guy came and bought that equipment, went back and brought a geologist with him, and the geologist said there's a fault here, and 3 feet away, or a couple feet away, was the rest of that vein of gold, and the majority of the gold to be found. That story, I remember whenever you were telling it, we were standing in the kitchen, and you were telling us this story, and it was infatuating to me. I thought it was super, super cool. But later that week, you told another story. Then you used my wife as the guinea pig to see if she knew who the story was about. And on Sunday, you chose to forego that story for your story, which I thought was really cool, because your testimony in that you're in that season of the miracle is still on the way. Yeah. However, even though it's on the way, that doesn't mean that it's not going to come to pass. You're in that waiting,
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see in the waiting. I'm going to get to the other story in just a moment, because I'd love for people to hear that. That's what the unpacking videos are for, is to, hey, this got left out. You'll remember it. I know you will. While I'm talking, you can remember. But I think that your testimony and where you're at right now it means a lot to a lot of people, seeing the action of, I'm not just preaching it, I'm actually walking it, I'm walking the talk. I'm in a season where I am waiting, and I fully know that the miracle is on the way. And as your son, I know that there have been those times where you do feel like, man, I want to give up, or not give up, but almost like, am I waiting in vain kind of deal, And I love what you say is that, or what you've said to me before is, I know my healing is coming, whether it be on this side of heaven or it's on the other. I know my healing is there.
Yeah.
And either way, we're going to experience that healing. Yeah. We're going to see a day whenever there's no more tremor. I mean, looking at you now, you're completely still. And it's cool seeing those little glimpses and just seeing the healing may not be fully here, you know, but that healing is on its way. And I think that God gives us those little glimpses as to saying, like, this is what I have. Yeah. This is on its way, you know. And I think it's really cool that even in the waiting, God has set up amazing encounters for you with people that, had it not been for the diagnosis, that people wouldn't be, that we don't know where people would be without that.
Yeah.
I mean, trials, the gym that y'all go to.
Yeah.
You have built amazing connections with people there, people who didn't have a relationship with God because of you and Mom going there. They've come to church. They've served on teams at our church. People who were atheists before, who said this God thing isn't real, came to our church, got saved, and started serving. People who had questions came to church and found answers and rekindled their walk with God. I think that's a really important thing for people to know as well, is that in that time of waiting, in that time of, like, it's just over the hill, it's right there, it's just a few more feet away, in those few feet, there's a huge impact that is made, whether it be negatively or positively, based on what you choose to do, based on whether you choose to stay in it and to stay pursuing, or negatively where people say, and I saw them give up, you know. Yeah. That affects people. And I don't know if that's I don't know if people know how much that affects others, is seeing how their walk is affected when trials come up, you know. Yeah. I know for me, like, watching you and Mom walk through the diagnosis, not just as individuals, but together, and watching your marriage, where sometimes incurable. That's what I was thinking of. Seeing an incurable diagnosis come through, where that would ruin some relationships, or it really heavily impact it negatively. You and Mom have thrived in your marriage. You and Mom have grown, I mean, so much. And that's a testimony to, or that's something that I look at, and as your son, that I look at, and it means a lot to me to see that, you know. And it's really cool watching that, seeing you as an individual, as a man, walk through something that would break a lot of people, seeing your faithfulness and seeing the tenacity that you have to say, this isn't who I am, this isn't the identity that I walk in. I walk in freedom, I walk in healing, I walk in shalom, nothing missing, nothing broken. And seeing you walk in that, I mean, as a young man, as your son, I see that and I say, I can walk in that same vein. That's my inheritance. That's my legacy, that's a legacy that's being left to me. That's the inheritance that's being left to me, is that I walk in the same tenacity that my dad does. And it's really cool.
It should be a legacy.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah. It's incredible to watch.
Well, you know, there's people who become Christians who say yes to God, and they go, God, my life is yours. Do with me what you want. Mm. And then when God starts using them in the way that he wants to use them, in their circumstances, they go, I don't think this is God.
I don't like this.
Or I don't like God, or I don't like the situation.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I loved when the doctor told me you have an incurable disease. there's been so many opportunities. As a matter of fact, October of this year will be 10 years since I got that diagnosis.
Wow.
And it doesn't feel like I've lived that long with the diagnosis that's been handed to me verbally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deny it, but I don't receive it either.
Mm.
I mean, there's been times that I've definitely I've definitely wanted to quit.
Mm.
I remember the day that I sat in my office there when we had our office complex. I sat in my office and I pulled the blinds shut. It was almost dark in that room. There was a window that separated me and Mom's office that she could look in.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled that blind and was laying there on my couch crying because of the pronouncement of this disease. And it was at that time that Mom saw that deal for Trials Gym, for the Rock Steady Boxing program for people who have been diagnosed with Parkinson's. We've been there since 2019. But I remember when she came in and she says, we're going to this gym tomorrow. I just called, we got an appointment. We're going to go talk to them about this thing. And really, I didn't know how much of an answer to prayer that was at that moment.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been a huge godsend. But when I said years ago, God, I give you my life, use me however you see fit. I didn't know, and now I'm not saying that God gave me this disease to use me, but in the midst of this disease, that's a part of this world, part of the accuser of the brethren, which is Satan. This is a satanic thing. Mm. I'm not possessed with it.
Yeah.
But God knows how to leverage the enemy's works to better his kingdom.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done through this disease that's been pronounced over my life.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate the feelings of it, I hate the brain fog that I get, as much as I hate the tremors that go along with it, as much as I hate all the little things that happen with the disease that affect my physical body, God's been able to use it. I've been able to give myself over to God because I told him, use me. He's using it.
Yeah.
To better the kingdom of God with something that the devil meant to steal, kill, and destroy me.
Yeah. And
so, spit the bit. I've wanted to, and probably have a few times, just because it sucks.
Yeah.
Just because the way that I feel. Sometimes I feel like I'm a distraction. That's been one of the big things for me, stepping onto the stage and ministering, and dealing with the facial tics and in the early days of the hand tremors before I had the deep brain stimulation surgery. But I'd tremor, and I would move. My head would move and bob and stuff like that. That I thought I was a distraction to people. I thought people would not hear the message coming from me because they're distracted by the movement. Mm. And so, even though people told me it doesn't bother me, for some reason it bothered me.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that they would get anything. So yeah, I've definitely struggled at times. But like with Abraham, if you just repent and renew that faith in God, that He's able to, what He is able to perform, His promise, He will do His promise. How did I say that? Abraham was fully convinced that what God had promised, God was able to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's that same deal.
Yeah.
What God has promised, God is able to perform. I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
To make it happen. All I can do is just keep telling my story.
Mm.
And I don't know if some people have gotten tired of me telling that story. It seemed like for a while, in every message that I preached, I would talk about my story, not to be a victim.
Yeah.
I didn't want to become a victim, but to tell that story, because I believe that what God has promised, God is able to perform.
Mm.
And I will see a cure. I believe we will see a cure before my life is over.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I hate to plug anybody on this deal, but the Michael J. Fox Foundation has done loads of seeking through this diagnosis. They have done so much for this community of people who deal with the same things that I deal with.
Yeah.
And man, they made big headway.
Yeah.
To understand what this is. So, anyways, that's I'm done with that. But that's just so the people know that I have dealt with that. I've wanted to quit. I have at times quit, knowing that I'm almost there.
Yeah.
Or knowing that I'm not quite there yet, or I'm just a few feet away. It's not that far. So I keep coming back because I'm just a few feet away.
Yeah.
The gold is just a few feet away.
Yeah. So. I think that's good for people to know that even you struggle sometimes,
Yeah.
I think that's encouraging for people to know that, shoot, you're human too,
Yeah.
So do you remember the story? A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love this story because you and me, we like this kind of stuff.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's cool. It's really, really cool.
And I don't remember how I was going to tie it in, but I heard the story of a man named Robert. And the man named Robert was a multi-millionaire. He was a businessman. He was a husband, a father, but he wasn't living his life for God. Matter of fact, anytime anybody's talked about God, he was like, who needs God? And Robert was an extreme narcissist. He had so much money, he had 2 jet planes with his name painted on the tails of both jets. And according to the story that I heard, that he would go up, he would hire pilots to take his plane up in the air, but he'd hire pilots to take his second plane up in the air too. And he wanted to see his name on the other plane flying through the clouds just because he could, because he had a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so, if that's not a narcissist, who is? What is? So, definition of narcissistic person.
Yeah.
But the story goes that, late in his life, after not needing God, not wanting to talk about God, coming against God, he was a gambler, he was a drinker, he was a drunk, he was a woman chaser, even though he was married, and he had bragged about having a woman in every city that he chased after. But anyways, it's late in his life. He was on the beach in Florida, laying on the beach, and God spoke to him. Not in his physical ears, but in his heart, in his chest. And he said, Robert, this is God. And that got his attention. He said, I need you to come to me. I want you to come to me through my son Jesus. And he's like, who's Jesus? Now, he had heard about God, and he even heard about Jesus, but he did not know about Jesus.
Yeah.
So he called a famous sports broadcaster, and knowing that guy was a Christian, he called him and says, what? Okay, I need you to tell me what this is, because God spoke to me. Who is Jesus? And the sportscaster just said, you know what? You need to read this book. And he gave him a book called, it was Lee Strobel, A Case for Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Which Lee Strobel was an atheist that came to Jesus. So anyways, he gets the book, he reads it, and he gives his life to Jesus. And not only gives his life to Jesus, but it's really just overwhelmingly positive, so positive about
radical
Jesus.
change.
Yeah, radical. And so anyways, he begins to tell everybody about Jesus. You know, God told him, said, you need my son Jesus, because I have saved you more times than you even know. Physically. Yeah. Saved him from more times than he ever knew. And so that changed Robert's life. Well, the kicker is Robert is known as Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel, in his last few years of his life, received Jesus. So many times he was almost there, or not far from it, or, just not there yet. Mm-hmm. He repents towards the end of his life. He repents, and God saves him, even though he was totally against God. God saved him. Wow. And so, to the point to where his gravestone in Butte, Montana is where he's buried. The gravestone says, "Believe in Jesus." Amen. Wow. Believe in Jesus. Amen. So, anyways, to the degree his son Robbie, who's passed away now, his son Robbie was a outspoken Christian. Really? I mean, whenever Robbie would make a jump on his motorcycle, same with Evel. If you don't know who Evel Knievel is, he was a motorcycle daredevil in the 60s, 70s, and some in the 80s. But when Robbie, his son, would jump, we've seen his show live on TV. Yeah. Jump things, and when he gets the mic at the end after he makes a successful jump, he gives his testimony. Wow. And he loved Jesus too. Wow. So, anyways, that was a story that I was going to tell. Yeah. And so, me and your mom talking about it didn't think that people would, some of the younger generation wouldn't know who Evel Knievel was. So I chose to put that on the cutting room floor. I thought it was really cool. It was, you showed us a video about it. Yeah, that was Lee Strobel. Yeah. Talking about it. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. And it may just be because I'm your son. You've raised me to. Well, I've got a video, a DVD of Evel Knievel's jumps and stuff, his story and things like that, which did not end up talking about him being a Christian. Yeah. But it was his story throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s. When I remember as a kid in the 70s watching him jumps. Wow. On Wide World of Sports on Saturday afternoon. It was called the Wide World of Sports. Mm-hmm. And I'd watch Evel Knievel jump on live television. And matter of fact, one of the commentators that covered Evel Knievel was Frank Gifford, who Evel Knievel contacted Frank Gifford and said, "I know you're a Christian. Who is this Jesus guy?" Huh. Wow. So, anyways, that dates me a lot. He was the pinnacle for every kid with a bicycle and a piece of plywood and trash can. And a brick. Yeah. To make a ramp out of it. I did it so many times. Never broke a bone, but I crashed a lot. Yeah. Brody, if you're watching, you need to go watch some Evel Knievel. He can teach you how to jump. Oh, man. No, I thought that was really cool. And I totally get why you switched out the stories, but I think it's cool seeing or hearing about somebody who was on the cusp of not quite there or close, And God's mercy for them. Mm-hmm. I mean, God could have spit the bit and said, "Evel Knievel, you're out." Yeah. Yeah. But he chose to to be so real with him. Come to him on a beach in Florida.
Yeah.
And say, you need me. I've saved you so many times and you need me. So, and I want you.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad God doesn't spit the bit with us. Yeah. He's good in that way.
Yeah. His mercy endures.
Yes. That's good. Well, I think that's a good spot to end for today.
Yeah.
Great message again this weekend.
Thanks.
It was really cool.
You know, I like to things like the Greeley Stampede, when there's people there that we don't know where their relationship is with God. Maybe they came there that morning to just have a look-see at what this cowboy church thing is about or whatever. My father in the ministry, Glenn Smith, was the most evangelistic man. I mean, he gosh, dog, that guy could pick up a Dr. Pepper can and tell you about Dr. Pepper and lead people to Jesus. Just talking about Dr. Pepper. He just had that about him, and he said in these evangelistic things like Greeley Stampede, he says you got to preach something that is simple for them to get a hold of Jesus. You can't go deep on them. You can't get into a place where they're like, I don't understand this religious stuff. You gotta keep it simple. And so that's why I always like to do these little catchy story, catchy ministry, catchy titles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because
some people just need it simple. And I mean, as simple as, hey, this is God, and I need you. I need you to come to me through my son Jesus.
Yeah.
So that is the whole premise this weekend.
Well, simple or not, I mean, this weekend's message was great. It was a simple message, but there was so much there that people could take away from that and chew on and take with them throughout the week. I mean, even if you've been saved for years, for your whole life, however long, there's still something there as like, man, am I just a few feet away from what God's got for me?
Well, that concept of a few feet away was not my original idea, but I definitely was able to take that concept and build a message around it.
Yeah.
That would fit into something like the Greeley Stampede this weekend. So.
Well, it was really good. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching. I know that there's a bumper at the end of this video that tells you thank you for watching and all the information. But once again, I mean, a year long of doing the unpacking videos. I know that there's been a couple of weeks missed where we've been busy. Last week was one of those weeks, getting geared up for Stampede. I didn't even have time to put out a video of saying, hey, we won't have unpacking this week. Yeah. But regardless, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving us feedback, giving us things to unpack or ideas to unpack, and for just being a part of what we got going on here in 3C. We sure appreciate each and every one of you, and we look forward to another year of doing the unpacking videos. So thank y'all. We want to say thank you once again for tuning in to this week's unpacking video. We'll be back next week with another unpacking on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Again, if you haven't already, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a like, and we encourage you to comment also. We want to know what you got from this week's unpacking video, from the sermon that we unpacked or the topic that we unpacked. We also would love to hear if you have any ideas for us to unpack as well. So leave those in the comments section. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you back here next week, Wednesday at 5 p.m.